In the job centre of life, don't be the guy that shits in the bin to get out of an interview. Ladies, gentlemen, and variations thereupon, this is Modern Escapism. Welcome to Modern Escapism, the only podcast in the world. If you're listening to anything else claiming to be a podcast, it's a lie. Burn the heretics. I'm Gadget, the person behind the counter of your life's corner shop. Joining me this week, the only man ever recorded to have 10 kilogram testicles, it's Biggie.
Hello.
An amusing collection of holes, it's Oodles.
Yeah, I am actually here.
Is he a man or a kebab wrap in skinny jeans? We'll never know, it's Stig.
100% a kebab wrap in skinny jeans.
And unfortunately, Candy's not with us this week. She's off sheep rustling in the northwest.
Yeah.
How are we all, boys?
I've retired. I've retired from hosting. I'm done.
I mean, you're very tired.
Because of Blendergate. I don't know if I told anyone, but my retirement only lasts for 1 week. So
It's more of a sabbatical.
no, Gadget's taking the reins this week. Gadget's taking the reins this week because I've been house hunting. I've been busy.
We're like the PC Master Race, but the Blender Master Race.
I was looking at your T-shirt then in case you had a blender on it. Does it have a blender on it?
No. I don't even know what it says.
Blend.
It does look like Blend from here.
It does, doesn't it?
No, it says sound, I think.
Yeah, Blendergate really ruined me. It ruined me.
It did. You're not part of the cult of the blend.
I have to move house because of it, because people are throwing blenders at my window.
I've been blending up stuff and throwing them at his window and then putting it through his letterbox. But blending up sardines and putting them through his letterbox.
Blended up his own shit earlier.
It's a blender full of petrol. It's called a Molotov blend.
Yeah.
A Molotov smoothie.
That was his other neighbour.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You seem so surprised that so many people had blenders.
I'm not surprised.
It was weird how connected you were to the idea that nobody owned blenders.
I love
It was
this.
such an off-kind comment that someone
It's such
picked
a
up
nothing
on.
comment and it's become this huge thing. I feel like I can't say shit. Guys, let me just... To the listener, right? You're the listener.
That's the whole point, though. It's out of context. Twitter.
I know, but whoever's doing that, you're a fucking moron, but I loves you. But listener, in future, this is an entertainment show. Not everything is fact. In fact, most things aren't.
Most things you say, yeah.
Everything I say is fact.
Yeah, lot of bullshit.
But you
get used to it.
You know what, Oodles? That gives me a great segue because we need some facts. We need some figures. We need some fiction. And we need some mispronunciations. It's Biggie's breaking news.
You may already know, but he doesn't, because it's time for Biggie's breaking news.
Check it out. Once upon a time in 24, Biggie made the money and life sure was slow. All they said was 6'2" he stood. People thought the news that he said was good. They lifted DJ and Gadget was his name. He came up to Biggie and this is what he said. You and the guys are gonna make some cash. Sell 1 million records and we're making the dash. Ooh, I'm buzzing because this is how we news it. Modern Escaping does it like nobody does. This is how we news it. To all my listeners, you got much flavour. This is how we news it. I'll never come back on an old school track. This is how we news it.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Very good.
That one got away from you a little bit there, didn't it?
Oh, it always does, mate. It always does.
Breath control, mate. Sing from your diaphragm.
Yeah.
That's them singing from my arse.
Anyway, next.
Yes, the Pokemon Company has made a statement about Power World. We have received many inquiries regarding another company's game released in January 2024. We have not granted any permission for the use of Pokemon intellectual property or assets in the game. We intend to investigate.
Which is corporate speak for.
Do you honestly think that the Pokemon Company on Nintendo would have even batted an eyelid if it wasn't making $2 million or whatever it was making?
I think it's probably more that just people keep like shouting at them saying this game's like Pokemon. And
so
it's just like,
the first time I ever heard of it was last podcast, and sequentially I have now seen a few trailers of it. It doesn't look like a Pokemon game. It's just a game with Pokemon in it. Do you get what I mean? It doesn't play like Pokemon, does it?
You've got to catch them in balls, and hopefully they don't break out. Well, you've got to beat them down enough to capture them in a ball.
Yeah,
and then the ball kind of goes doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo.
You did that with Digimon. You did that with Digimon. And
well, that's what
Temtem.
people's argument is, that it's Pokemon weren't really the first people to do it. It's just
Monster
that
Rancher.
a lot of them do look like Pokemon. You put them side by side, and they look very similar.
The only thing I notice is that it looks a lot like Pokemon, and they look like Pokemon, but a lot of it looks off to me. It looks like it's not finished or something. I don't know.
well, it's in early access, but it's also like I don't think anyone's arguing that it's an original game. It's a staggeringly unoriginal game that's just smashed together.
The unoriginal game.
Yeah, it's just smashed together like kind of crafting, survival, Pokemon, and Breath of the Wild stuff into it. Like
Valheim, all that stuff.
yeah, but I don't think it's actually done any copyright infringement. They've just gone, this is good, this is good, this is good. We'll stick it in a game.
Yeah,
and ultimately, the horse has left the barn at this point because it's got like fucking 8 million players on Steam.
Yeah, it's absolutely smashing it. It's got like millions of 1.5 million concurrent players or something stupid.
I think it should
huge.
wake Pokemon Company up to be like, this is what they want from you.
Well, that's it. Someone put a comparison image out on Twitter or Reddit or something, and it was a screenshot from Pokemon Arceus and a screenshot from Palworld, and said, guess which one is done by the multi-million-dollar conglomerate and which one was done by a load of guys in their bedroom.
There's a problem with that, though. There's a problem with that one, though. The Pokemon Company are unfortunately locked to a very aging console. That's a difference.
Well,
surely that makes a difference.
there are some much prettier games than Pokemon on the Switch still.
Tears of the Kingdom.
It's true.
Yeah, exactly.
Astral Chain, one of the first games on the Switch, is still one of the best looking.
Yeah.
Mario games, look how good they look.
True,
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. Game Freak are bad at making games.
Yeah. The
good at
Pokemon
2D
fans
games.
are kicking up a fuss. I'm just like, maybe they just need to make a good game for you, because
Yeah. That's what you're pining for.
yeah, if you had a Pokemon world that looked like Tears of the Kingdom and was playing like Palworld seems to have taken off, people would love it.
I agree.
Some people doing some
Tell you what, though,
horrific
that's
things in
too-
Palworld that it's got like.
I know you
Peter-
can eat your friends, can't you?
Well, you can set up like slave shops. You can have them like working on like sweatshop lines, like building stuff for you. It's so odd.
I like that.
Some of the pals are ammo for bazookas. You put a fucking sheep in a bazooka and fire it at the enemy.
No.
I like that. That sounds good. I feel like if that
But
came
there are
out on a
two
console
big
I don't, I'd
companies
play
to
it.
come after you, though, if they are going to take you to court. Bloody hell.
Yeah,
They've both got money behind them.
I think that the Palworld developers will have spent a lot of time and money like making sure that they are threading that
Prepping.
legal needle. That it's just like somewhat like a judge can say, yeah, it's similar, but it's not a Pokemon game. You know,
Is the and I don't
Say
know.
it's parody.
Is the-
Yeah.
It's just parody.
Is there an actual copy of the main Pokemons like Pikachu? Do you know the main ones that we all know?
There's ones that are reminiscent of them.
Similarities, but
Yeah, because if they
Not
made
close.
a little yellow mouse Pokemon with red cheeks and it did lightning, I think they've got more grounds on that. You can do a friggin' water dragon and be like, that's just our water dragon, that, mate. But Pikachu's bigger than Pokemon itself,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah,
That's
some
what I
of
mean.
them do look like Pokemon. Though. If you were looking at them side by side, you're like, you look at it and you go, "Come on, mate! All you've done there is just
Pokemon, come on! Apart from the main ones that we all know and love, they're shit at designing
Yeah.
Pokemons. One of them's a bunch of keys
I was just thinking that. Or a rock.
or a rock.
Diglett turns from like a 1 to 3. It's like, oh, great.
Whoa!
Dug Trio.
Yeah.
Fucking, they are shy. The main Pokemons are fantastic looking creatures. You know what I mean? But I don't know if they're called the main ones. I don't really know much about Pokemon that much,
And
as you can tell.
Neither do I, so we'll move on. Next.
Good to say
Well,
that, isn't it?
slightly linked, very linked to be fair. Nintendo's next Switch is looking likely to come out this year with an LCD screen. Apparently, Omdia says next console from Kyoto Company will have an 8-inch LCD screen.
I predicted this year.
It's not out yet, but
It.
I made some predictions on our latest Patreon podcast about this.
Yep.
It's happening.
Cool.
It's happening.
Got to listen to find out what they are. I'm not telling you.
I think
Pay.
I think people are a little bit down on the fact that it looks like it's going to have an LCD screen. And Omdia,
They'll just bring an OLED one later on, won't they?
well, yeah, that's it. I think that's what people are expecting, but people I think were hooping for OLED from the jump.
It's Nintendo,
they
right? You
should
got to
have done,
remember,
really.
guys. Remember, with Nintendo, they're a toy manufacturer. They're going to make it as cheaply as possible first run. They always do. The
And
premium
charge as
model
much
comes
for
out
it
good
as possible.
Yes, the dearer, more expensive hardcore model comes out later on, and everyone's gone, oh, I've got to sell my original one now, my plastic one, my crappy one. They do it every time, ever since they've existed.
And the one that you make out of cardboard comes out in between.
In the between, just to test the water. Could we get away with a cardboard one?
Fucking
Looks like we
Labo.
could.
Some people are complaining because they were like, oh, the specs are probably going to be in line with a PlayStation 4. And they're like, you should see like people kicking off about it. It's like, it's
What's
a
wrong with that?
handheld. That's fine. Like the Steam Deck and the Ally are like, they're like,
PS4s.
they're out PS4 level. And then don't forget, PS4 ran like The Last of Us 2.
Yes,
Like,
and
and
it ran
that's
it really well.
yeah, and Red Dead Redemption 2. They look incredible. So that if you
Don't forget,
Man
you
as
can
well.
get
you're getting that
can
in
get
your handheld.
God of War Ragnarok on PS4.
Yeah, if you're getting that in your handheld, that's mint.
Yeah. Who's moaning?
Yeah.
Who's moaning? I'll have that for the next 10 years.
Because people think that they should be keeping up with Xbox and PlayStation,
up.
but
I
you
think-
can't do that in a handheld.
I think what people
They're
also,
innovators. That's what they are. They're not.
I think what people
leaders.
also forget is that Nintendo have an uncanny ability to like pull an amazing things out of their hardware. They understand their hardware. So like, the console is 7
I thought you
years.
were going to say out of their ass.
No,
It means that.
but given the fact that it's a 7-year-old console, Mario Wonder looks incredible. It's one of the best looking games I've seen.
It's beautiful.
Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom
Looks
is
incredible.
stunning, even if
They've
the
got
frame
the
rate gets
Witcher
a bit
3 to
wobbly.
run on that. It might not look as good as a PlayStation 4 or a PS5 or anything.
In handheld, it's fine.
But-
Just when you put it on the telly, it's fucking
They
atrocious.
still got that game to run on it.
Yeah,
Like,
and,
one cartridge.
and Doom Eternal.
yeah. So it's going to be fine. If it's
Yeah.
got PS4 style specs.
It's a Nintendo console. We're all buying it. Grow up.
Next,
That's what's happening.
Sony quietly blocks controversial Cronus Zen device from connecting to PS5 consoles. In its latest firmware update, the device suddenly let players use which let players use or modify any supported controller on Sony's console. But Sony didn't tell anybody, so if you actually accepted the current update, you wouldn't be able to use your Cronus Zen anymore.
Fucking hell's a Cronus.
so a Cronus Zen is a little bit of hardware that you put between your controller and your PlayStation. It lets you do cheating in Call of Duty. It, like,
Duty and stuff like that.
Call of Duty fans, they're
Oh,
the
so
worst
is it
of the
like-
worst.
Is it like having a turbo mode SNES controller?
Pretty much, yes.
The only time I actively played a Mega Drive for a long time was at my cousin's, and he had the turbo one for the Mega Drive. And mate, you should see me as E Honda.
Yeah. Do you want to play Street Fighter? They have the turbo control, and you're given the standard one.
Yeah.
A bit, it's basically like a little macro pad, so you can put in like button combinations that you just tap one button and it does. So like, for instance, if you're getting shot from behind, you can just like quickly tap it and then you'll like flip around and aim at the
Which
head
is
kind
not
of thing.
built in the game, is it?
Which is not built in the game. So it's like
Is that what you've been doing then, Big A?
So yeah, there's a subset, the most toxic part of the Call of Duty fandom, and that's a toxic fandom, are kicking off because it's making it harder.
You should check my stats. You'll see my kill-death ratio. It's not good.
I mean, I'm a Call of Duty fan, but not the multiplayer fan, so I can't be lumped into this. I'm not a part of this Cronus crowd.
No,
Not
I can't imagine you would spend money to play less of a game anyway.
I like the,
A 6 hour
the
game,
message
a 6 hour
from
game
the,
that I get.
the message from the team that created the Zen, said, however, this update is not mandatory. Simply skip it and everything should still work with the previous update as expected. And then the company said it didn't know the update was coming, and it doesn't know when it'll be able to fix it either. Warns players to make use of this device. It could be 24 hours, 24 days, 24 months.
You can't go online on some updates, though, if you don't do them.
Yeah, the big updates, like the big number ones. I always find it funny when someone has made this little cottage industry out of something that's kind of a bit sketchy.
We're going to be millionaires.
And then it takes one software update to undo it all.
I know people that have got custom firmware chipped or whatever you call it now, pirated PS5s now. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you ruining your brand new baby? If you've got enough money to pay for a PS5, you've got enough money to get some games for it. Legitimately.
The last thing I tinkered with was my PS3, because obviously it's pretty much not used
I
anymore.
only strictly, and I can have the moral high ground on this, I only emulate stuff I can't get anymore.
Yeah.
From eShops that don't work anymore, or games that I've got physically, or games from 15 years ago that developers won't make any money from anyway. I'm quite moral on that one. I'd never chip me. I like to use the word chip because that's what we used to call it around here. I'll never chip my Nintendo Switch because it's still a functioning thing. But I'm not against people that do. I'm just not. I use it actively.
You know why they call it chipping Oodles?
No,
chipping it
because on the PS1 you soldered an extra chip to the board which overrode the copy protection.
We just did anything pirated when I were a kid, even leading up to 360. We just called it chipping. Chip it, get it chipped.
Yeah, those were back in the days before you had the entire system on a single chip, and you could just like put a little bit of hardware into fuck around with it.
Well, I'm going to continue.
But also, if you tinker with things like a PS4 or PS5 now and stuff like that, you can't go online anyway because you'll get banned. So it seems like a bit of a waste for that.
How many online matches of Mario Kart have you had to stick? None.
Some.
Poor lad can't.
Some between none and a number. Next.
Lad's locked between airplane mode, aren't you, mate? He's never off it.
Here's a strange one for you. British Army's Fortnite recruitment campaign retreats in the face of gamer backlash. The British Army was keen on recruiting Fortnite players because they really shoot well, or at least it was. Social media posts and a trailer promoting Operation Belong appeared to have been taken down following backlash to a recruitment drive aimed at the game's youthful audience.
That's amazing. I also just now really love the idea of the British Army just being Fortnite players. Go into a war zone and they're just fucking knocking up a shed.
Just running around like that. Yeah. Fuck your mother! Fuck your mother!
I find this whole thing absolutely frightening. It's Starship Troopers. Would you like to know more levels of fucking dystopia? I do not like this whatsoever.
Enjoying a shooting game does not equate to enjoying real life warfare.
No.
No one enjoys real life warfare.
No, but it's like that. They've still got that same mentality of like back in
I'll
the
respawn
90s.
if I get shot.
Oh, if I play Mortal Kombat, I'm going to be a violent child. If I play GTA, I'm going to be a violent child. It's like that's not how it works.
It's not how it works. It doesn't hurt when you're playing a game.
People still have a really fucking warped mindset.
I love playing Call of Duty. I do not want to be in Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
Much.
I just actively don't want to listen to Lance Corporal Boris Johnson telling me what I should and shouldn't do. Have you seen this fucking advert?
I mean, if it's all Fortnite players, you'll get fucking Commander Ninja.
Commander Ninja. Oh my word! Come on, Ninja, go Ninja, go! Nah, fuck that, man.
Go into the army mess and get G Fuel.
Oh.
It says here, Eurogamer contacted Epic Games for the comments, but was told that the promotion is currently undergoing moderation. Apparently, it turns out you aren't allowed to promote enrollment in the military per Epic Games' ironclad Fortnite Island creator rules.
You're not allowed to do it in general. You're just not allowed to do it. I know they're threatening this conscription bullshit, but that's not going to pass either.
They're fucking not, man.
It's not going to pass. It's not going to pass.
No, they're not threatening it at all. It's just
some bellend.
Yeah, some bellend said it, and it's been taken out of context.
I'm not fucking scared, mate. They're not going to have me.
They know exactly how
can
to they know exactly how to conscript you. They just need to put a box with a stick under it and a pile of cocaine next to an army recruitment center.
Like
And then say
from
you
the
get
guy
a
episode,
mech
he's just like,
suit.
ooh, a bag of coke, ooh, a bag of coke, bag of coke.
Mate, I will be the most unstoppable warrior on the on the fucking battlefield. I'll be running at him like fucking Turok.
You'll be like fucking Asterix. You just get your magic potion and you go and fuck up some Romans.
Yeah.
I would.
Path.
I'd single-handedly defeat the baddies, even though we're probably the baddies. Who knows?
We're
Enough of
always,
that shit.
we're always the baddies. Next.
CD Projekt Red dabbling in AI, considering multiplayer for Cyberpunk 2. So they've pretty much gone full circle now, haven't they?
Wasn't there supposed to be multiplayer in the first Cyberpunk? And they got dropped.
There was.
Yeah.
They
But
even
they're
had
now
a
looking
bit
at
of a
how
trailer
AI
about
can
it.
aid development.
I mean,
Why?
AI is not going to help development. You need people to develop things, man.
Yeah. It's so frustrating. It's so bad. Did you see my AI statement I wrote? Well, I didn't write. I asked it to write.
It made no fucking sense.
The destruction of the English fucking lexicon was insane. It doesn't know what it's doing. It's terrible. I hate AI. I
Yeah.
hate it.
Just next.
Just hate it.
The day before, dev team resurfaced and they're blaming the failure on Gold Rush of negative take.
I did take
The
that
studio
long.
posted. No, the studio posted the message to Twitter, alluding to certain bloggers that triggered a gold rush of dunks, with content creators racing to publish their takes, ultimately leading to the game's downfall. The statement blames misinformation from supposedly anonymous sources and provides answers to questions no one was asking.
Wasn't it the actual game itself? Like, people did buy the game and refunded it immediately because it was shite.
Yeah.
God, it took them less than a month to completely scrub everything and then come back and blame everybody else.
Yep.
I wonder why industry's on its ass.
Oh.
It's a joke, man. It's a joke.
I'm just reading the quote here from. Remember the experiment where you're asked to count pink objects in a room and then recall the blue ones? You won't remember any. It's all about focus. The negative bias instilled by certain bloggers making money on hate affected perceptions of the game.
That's fucking shite.
Oh, that is really shite.
Screw you guys.
Oh no. Fucking hell. Next. I'm going to get angry about the next one.
Over to the world of film and TV. We've had the Oscars full list of nominations.
Time to get angry again.
So I'm not going to go through the lot, but Oppenheimer leads the nominations with a total of 13, followed by Poor Things with 11, Killers of the Flower Moon with 10, and Barbie with 8. They will compete for Best Picture with American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, Maestro, Past Lives, and The Zone of Interest. Amongst those setting records with the nominations was Lily Gladstone, who is the first Native American acting nominee, and Martin Scorsese, who is now the most nominated living movie director.
So,
One of the best directors to ever live as well.
just we'll just address the elephant in the room straight away.
Do it.
Neither Margot Robbie nor Greta Gerwig were nominated in their respective categories for Barbie, but Ryan Gosling was, and I feel like that's a bad thing. Not that Ryan Gosling doesn't deserve it. Don't get me wrong, Ryan Gosling does deserve it, but they also deserve it.
But he did steal the show.
No, he did
That's the
steal the
thing.
show, but also, like, Margot Robbie was fantastic in it, and Greta Gerwig made an amazing film. Like,
Yeah,
the
I
fact
like
that
them both.
the two of them have been snubbed is weird.
So here's my issue.
It's weird.
Is they extended the best movie category out to 10 films,
Yeah.
but kept, and these are the main categories. The main four that everyone always cares like most about are film, director, actor, and actress. Your leads.
Yeah.
They're the main four.
Yeah.
If you're going to extend the main film to 10, those
the
other
others.
three need to go to at least 7.
Yep,
Because
I agree, mate.
you can't. I just do not. I mean, Greta Gerwig has been nominated in other parts of, for screenwriting and things like that. And America Ferrera, she's been nominated for supporting actress, which is great.
Yeah. which is good.
But
I think
directed the absolute hell out of that film, and without that vision, without the way that what she's done and how she's pieced it together, without Margot Robbie, I've seen people say, "Oh, anyone could have played like Barbie." No,
I don't think so.
I don't think so at all. Like without them, that film still doesn't work. I mean, yeah, Gosling is great, but it doesn't work without them. They're the brainchild behind them two, really, behind that film.
Yeah, because
it's Margot Robbie executive producer.
Yeah, it's her production company.
She has promoted that
I thought so
to the nth degree as well, like the way that
she's been all over it, and the empowerment and just the message.
But
yeah,
the problem is, who'd you take out?
Don't ask me, mate. Don't ask me. This is a strong category.
I like also the fact that Ryan, he also acknowledged the snub as well, didn't he? He said it's very nice to be nominated, but
and that'll lose him his Oscar.
Well, he's not going to win anyway. It's Robert Downey Jr.'s.
Yeah, he's definitely going to win it. 100%.
I think it just those three categories especially, you need to add extra in there, because if you're gonna include these other films, so in there as well, you've got Past Lives, and there's no Best Actress or Best Director for that, and I've not seen the film yet, but from every other podcast and thing that I've heard, Best Actress Annette Bening for Nyad.
I've not heard great stuff.
What I've heard from people is it feels like this is a lifetime nomination.
Right.
Which happens.
And I really wish they'd stop fucking doing that. Stop
Because
giving nominations.
Jamie Lee Curtis last year, didn't they? And she won it.
Yeah, I don't think she deserved to win it, to be honest. I loved that film, but I don't think she deserved
wasn't
to
the
win
best thing in it.
Best Supporting Actress for it.
Well, no, I mean, in that film, Stephanie Hsu was.
She's much better. But I just stop awarding and giving points to people based on their history. It's got to be about that film that year, not what they've done in the past.
As much as I like Robert Downey Jr. in Oppenheimer, I think they're giving it to him because of his past work as well.
I don't know. If you look at
they couldn't give him anything for the Avengers or any of the Iron Man films. They couldn't give him for certainly not Dr. Dolittle. He don't deserve that.
I think he does deserve it. For
He's
Oppenheimer
great
because
I forgot it was him.
Yeah, and that's why it works for him in that one.
Yeah. They're still better though. They're still better.
It's
Greta Lee and Celine Song as well for Past Lives not being in there is just, for me, is outrageous. But there isn't enough space, and that's my issue. Don't increase the best film and then narrow the field on the other ones.
Yeah,
I agree, mate. There is something that we're going to rectify all this. The biggies are coming at a very similar time to the Oscars. We can give the true Best Actor award, Female Actor award, to who we deem deserves it. So, and they are better awards anyway. Everyone knows that. More prestigious.
Yeah, there is a few others in there that I'd like to point out, which I think are a lot of shit. Best Animated Feature. Elemental does not deserve to be in there. It is fine. It's not as good as Suzumi at all. That film is so much better than Elemental, and Makoto Shinkai is constantly getting snubbed by the Oscars, and it's doing my head in. Didn't get anything for Your Name, didn't get anything for this film, and both of them. Your Name is incredible, but Suzumi is also just as good and has an amazing score. Yeah. Speaking of scores, what the fuck is Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny doing in there?
I was going to say, isn't it not just another John Williams? Yeah.
Yeah. Into the Spider-Verse is one of the best soundtracks I've heard in fucking ages. Daniel Pemberton is doing things that no other composer's doing with that. So many different techniques and piecing all these different techniques together to create that soundtrack. And he did he recorded a piece and then put it through a scratcher and then remixed it. And he's doing all this absolute crazy shit to make this amazing soundtrack. Nothing. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse knows nothing in the soundtrack. And Biggie's just coming back now. When he gets back to his seat, I'll ask him.
Throne, he prefers to call it. Yeah. Throne.
Biggie,
I think he's just been on the throne, actually.
No, I had to sort something out for my wife. Sorry, what was that?
So we're just talking about the soundtrack and the fact that Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse didn't get nominated for Best Soundtrack, Original Score.
Yeah.
It's incredible, isn't it?
It's fuming.
It helps the film just like the first one did. The tracks. In fact, why isn't even that? I know it's an animated movie, but why that's not even considered as
Again,
best movie? 'Cause
yeah.
it's that good.
I'm
Should be in
also
the
getting
category,
annoyed about the Oscars doing that, treating animation like it's secondary.
Like
The Boy and the Heron could be in there as well.
Well, I'm saying
for
that
matter.
you could very much argue Boy and the Heron could be in the best picture category because it is that good. And
It's just the categories are that outdated, and I know they've tried to do some inclusion, diversity, etc. over the years, but they're still not there yet. They still haven't got it right. There's still too much faff.
They
going on.
never do. It's all subjective. They never get it right. What they have actually nominated is right. It's
Yeah.
just what they've left out. But also, apart from Indiana Jones soundtrack, an Elemental. But in terms of picture, actor, actress, and supporting actress, from what I've seen, they've mostly got it right. It's just that they're restricting themselves. So you're always going to have this conversation, aren't you?
yeah, but I mean,
Maestro doesn't deserve to be there. Oh, fucking hell. Jesus.
but that's just Oscar. That's just Oscar bait. That film,
It's
though,
the
isn't
most Oscar bait film I've seen in fucking ages. Performances are great, but the film is just dull as fuck.
Well, at least in March we have the biggies to look forward to, and that all awards will be rated. So for now, next.
I got my right soapbox.
Going on a completely different tangent. Warner Brothers is the front runner to acquire Superman, the Christopher Reeve story, and they're looking at about $15 million. Documentary follows how Christopher Reeve found strength and purpose through activism after he was paralysed in an equestrian accident.
That'll be an interesting watch. He was a good man.
Yes.
You
best
just thought
Superman.
Warner Brothers would because they've got rights to their film, innit?
No,
No.
is it Warner Brothers? No, I think it's MGM.
I don't know.
No.
They're rights to it now, though, don't they?
Yeah, they have the rights to it now.
Universal. Not sure. It's one of them. Someone like Plants is screaming at the. podcast now. He knows. He knows.
It's their wheelhouse.
Richard,
isn't it?
whoever Richard Donner was in cahoots with.
If they're going to do a documentary about that Superman, it's they'll want to kind of
I don't think it's about that film. It's talking about Christopher
about
Reeve
his
life
afterwards.
after.
No, it's Warner Brothers, the original one.
Oh, is it?
Fair enough.
Sound. You were right, mate.
So
Pro podcasting.
it just makes sense. No, I already knew it. It made me doubt it. That's the problem.
Well, I tell you what, you can doubt these next two then, Stig, because these will both annoy you. Next,
You said next to Biggie. Come on.
Yeah, I'm coming, and then you just jumped in, bitch. Netflix will be
bitch.
axing their
It's like your bedtime
cheapest
talk.
basic ad-free plan that costs $11.99. They've also hinted at additional price increases for subscribers. And then they put in their usual spiel. As we invest in and improve Netflix, we'll occasionally ask our members to pay a little extra to reflect those improvements.
but they don't improve the
there we
content that they're providing for that cost.
A lot of bollocks.
And that content involves Scrapping the Mothership, a sci-fi thriller that Halle Berry, which had completed filming, but the studio now plans to never release the film.
Yay.
Do not like this.
Probably.
Do not
No.
like this precedent of scrapping films, especially
write-offs.
ones that are complete for tax write-offs.
Yeah,
Fucking Warner
it's
Brothers
getting
setting
shitty.
the trend for that.
We need to start tax writing off some podcasts.
I wonder if it's ever going to reach a point where you get these films like, say, for Halle Berry is a big name for a film. I know she's not done much
She's a draw.
recently.
She's a draw, though, isn't she?
But I wonder if it's going to get to the point where if a studio kills a film off like this, and some of the stars' salary is tied to performance. A little bit like when Black Widow got put on Disney Plus and Scarlett Johansson sued Disney because her compensation was based on ticket sales.
Because it was during COVID, wasn't it? So she didn't
Yeah.
get anything.
So she sued them for lost earnings. I wonder if that'll ever happen with something like this.
Well, it's a shame Rebel Moon wasn't scrapped.
That's the
dent.
problem. They release so much shit. I've no idea if this Halle Berry film would be any good. My gut instinct says probably not.
No.
But
I think from what I heard, it sounded about like a 6 or a 7 out of 10 kind of film.
it's still not the right thing to do. There's a lot of people that work on those films that have spent time working on those films, so then just write it off.
Yeah.
If you're going to scrap it in pre-production, not when it's in post-production.
Also, if it's never released, then that credit doesn't go on to your IMDb if you work in the industry.
Nope.
So you,
your CV in general as well, yeah.
well, yeah, that's what I mean. Basically, you have a gap in your CV then.
I know
What are
you
you doing? I did an unknown project.
Yeah, I know you put this in sports, Biggie, but what's the real reason Netflix are having to put their prices up?
Yeah,
We're jumping ahead.
Yeah, go on. Skip ahead next.
WWE, have you heard of them? Has officially announced that WWE Raw is coming to Netflix starting in January 2025.
That's why it's more expensive. Because that's a big moneymaker.
Because it's costing them $5 billion.
$5 billion dollars that they don't have.
Oh, if only Vince was around to enjoy that money.
Oh, fuck that guy. We're not getting into that. We are not
No, we're
touching
not.
that on this podcast.
No.
No chance.
Poor dead.
This is great, though, really. For
Better access to it because
better
it's
access.
Is it though?
well,
Yes.
well no because
Yeah.
it was all on WWE Pass or something.
So
or-
it's on so a lot of the old stuff's on WWE Network, but it's just the fact that it's there on Netflix, which a lot of people have, and they can probably kind of reduce 3 hours down a little bit because they won't have to do as much advertising, like there won't be the commercial breaks and all that shit.
yeah.
They'll probably be able to streamline it a bit better. But the best thing about it is all of the premium live events outside of the US are all covered under it as well.
Oh, so you don't
Do you
have to do
reckon,
pay-per-views.
Yep.
Do you reckon, Stig, that they're gonna like reset some storylines for someone like me that's absolutely highly likely to jump in from day one? Do you think they're gonna reset it for people to get into?
No, but
in a way,
Rumble season's the perfect time to jump in anyway, because that's when they kick off all the big stories.
the new storylines. Yeah. So
Apart from this
that'd
year,
work.
obviously, last night's Rumble is a continuation of last year. So
Because I really fancy getting into it, so I've got something at least to talk to you about and other people about. But I just don't want to be like, who's this? Why are they fighting? Who's he shagging? Who's she shagging?
I mean,
you know what I mean?
A month of watching the product,
You get it, yeah?
You'd be in it anyway, yeah.
Oh, that's fine then. I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to do a weekly WWE report on this podcast. I'm telling you, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Do it.
I used to
See
like
what
Raw.
happens.
Raw were my favourite anyway back in the SmackDown Raw days. So I'm here.
Oh
for
no,
it.
it got lost in the edit.
Anyway, next.
David Vaughan says Kick-Ass 3 is coming and the script is halfway complete. This is a very, very meta universe. It's just a whole new way of doing Kick-Ass, which couldn't be more Kick-Ass.
I feel like he's trying too hard at this point.
A little bit.
Ass.
Has Kick-Ass kind of had its moment and gone? Was it?
I thought so.
It was
had
I don't
its
think
moment
it
and gone
required a
before the
sequel.
second
and
film.
fresh.
Yeah,
and
it
the first
did
one
not
was,
require a sequel.
Yeah, and the sequel was really poor. If you could capture some of the magic that The Boys has, then maybe it would work. But
Yeah.
But that wasn't what it was aiming for, really, because it
no,
wasn't particularly bloody. I know there was some strong language.
It was true
from a
to
10-year-old
its
girl
source
in it.
material. It was true to its source material, and it was fresh. The first one. The second one was it derived a little bit from the actual comics, and it made it a bit like, why you made that decision? Oh, I get it. I get why, because you want these characters to survive. That kind of thing.
but I like the first one. Is like
Really good.
Aaron Taylor Johnson he's not like now he's built like fucking brick shit house, isn't he? But then he was
Yeah,
like
he's
a little
skinny
weird.
kid.
How's it going
and
to? How's it
worked.
going to fit into that scuba diving suit?
You've
now?
got Nicolas Cage basically playing Batman, and a
was-
young Chloe
I-
Grace Moretz, a like 8-year-old, running around calling people cunts and battering the shit out of them, and that was great.
Yeah, but then she wasn't 8-year-old in the sequel. She was a woman. So it just didn't work.
Yeah, I don't know if she was meant to be like 12 maybe or something like that, but like, it was just
Yeah,
great
but you know what I
seeing
mean,
this
she
little
was-
girl like kicking the crap out of these men and like just being really great. And then as soon as she turns into a woman, it's kind of like it loses the fun and the allure of like that character. So
Yeah, I don't think this will work in the same way that the sequel didn't work. The sequel, they didn't strike when the iron was hot enough.
yeah.
If they wanted to do a sequel,
In a world like you say, Gadget, where we've got the boys, who cares?
yeah, exactly.
And we've got Invincible,
What was
who
the,
fucking
what
cares?
was the gap between them both?
It's got to be 10 years, hasn't it? Maybe 5 years.
So
maybe
Kick-Ass
5.
was 2010 and Kick-Ass 2 was 2013. So it's only 3 years. That's not bad.
It don't feel like it. That
No,
feels like
Yeah.
longer.
I thought it was longer. I thought it was like a Sin City to Sin City 2 kind of gap.
Yeah, I did.
I think.
Wow.
I think it was because you only kind of really notice it because I think puberty hit Chloe Grace Moretz really hard between
She
those
became a
two
woman,
films.
didn't she? She was no longer a girl.
Because I think she was like 12 or 13 when they filmed the first one, and then she would have been like 16, 17 for the second one. Something like that.
Because there was a whole subplot of her like fancying boys and that, weren't they, in the second one?
Yeah, and it didn't work. It was too creepy.
It didn't work. And she even kissed Kick-Ass. She kissed him.
No.
And I was like, oh no, he's quite old.
Yeah, so she's born in 97, so when she filmed that, 12. She'd have been 12.
Yeah. Anyway, next.
I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it.
Oh, from superheroes to the Marvel Universe, Daredevil Born Again apparently will now feature characters Kingpin, Bullseye, Karen Page, The Punisher, and Foggy Nelson.
Into it.
So this is basically Daredevil season 4. That's all it
Yep.
is.
Fine. Go
They're
for
even
it.
saying that
Yeah.
the stuff that happened in the Netflix thing's canon, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
but
are.
they said it's canon, so this is just
Yeah.
continuation of that.
This is 4.
Fine.
Number 4.
Brilliant.
I'm into it. Big into
Marvellous.
Yeah, I do like Daredevil.
it. Marvellous. I like your pun.
Yeah.
Great
Next.
We're sticking in the world of Marvel. Tom Hollander says he accidentally got Tom Holland's box office bonus for the Avengers
This is
movies.
funny.
And they were in, I think they were watching a film or a show, and somebody that Tom Hollander was with said, I've just got my bonus come through for some project that person did. And he goes, I'll go and check mine. And the breaker after the show, he checked his email or his account and noticed that
million.
he'd got an astonishing amount of money. Not the whole box office bonus, the first one. And it was more money than I'd ever seen. And apparently it was 7 figures.
Yeah, Tom Holland doesn't
I
need
would
to
have
work
kept-
again, does he?
I would have kept that in my bank. As you've gifted it to me, Mr. Hollander. I'm keeping it.
I mean, the daily rate of interest would have fed you for a year.
Could they have kept
He
that
could
if
have
they
kept
paid it to him by
Yeah.
mistake? Could he have actually
Sure.
legally just said, well, you sent it to my bank account, so...
Yeah, sure.
No, they
I'm sure there would have been a...
back.
Yeah, but...
I'd have said, I'll give you a little bit of it back. That's all I'd have fucking fought him in court.
Too many Tom Hollands. The director of Fright Night's called Tom Holland as well, isn't he?
Oh, God.
Yeah, change your name.
Grow up. Next.
I think Stiggy and I need a moment of silence, please.
Hang on, I'll get the sad music out.
When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high. I'm not going to rest. It's a good song like that.
Yeah, man. Just everyone's reeling from the weird announcement that came out. Klopp is leaving Liverpool. Just really
Do it
random,
to me,
out of the
Jurgen.
blue.
He's going to Leeds, isn't he?
So for the non-football amongst us, i.e. me, is there a reason that he's given for leaving Liverpool?
No,
He
he's tired.
has been in the game for quite a few years, been quite successful.
He don't want to
and
do it
being At
anymore.
a place like Liverpool is obviously comes with its pressures, and he's worked really hard. He's been very successful at the club.
How many titles
And
did you win
I'm
with
going
him?
to say, I honestly thought last season, at the beginning of the season, I think it was the first or second game, I was watching him on the touchline, and he kind of looked just a bit jaded and tired. And I
Probably
just
is.
think that. Yeah, exactly that. I think he's just come to a point. He was supposed to leave before, but he extended his contract. But I think
Yeah.
he is generally just quite tired of it
I
all.
think a lot of people expect, especially well-loved managers, to be like Sir Alex Ferguson, where he just doesn't leave for so long, and he becomes
Yeah.
such an ingrained member. And every Liverpool fan loves Klopp because he's a nice bloke. Do you know what I mean? He's
He is.
not an horrible
Very
twat.
well liked in the game.
He even speaks Scouse when he wants to. Do you know what I mean? He's learnt to live amongst that community, and yeah, I'm not even a Liverpool fan in any aspect, but that's a shock. Not a shock that like he's leaving, but it's just a blow to them. You know what I mean?
Especially at this point in the season as well.
Yeah, tell him now. Why didn't you tell us later on?
Tell us when we were 10 points clear of City and we were going to win the title.
Yeah.
And then we could have been like, yeah, okay, at least we know that we're going to go out on a high. But now it's just like, oh, but if he doesn't go out on a high, and
We're
if they
still
beat,
in 4 competitions, but it's just kind
if
of.
they beat us by 1 point again, it's
You'd love some stuff I've seen on X, formerly known as Twitter, about this, saying, I'm not going to support Liverpool after this year. We're only there for Klopp. Oh, so you're the problem. So you're the problem. In football.
Do you know what?
You've just outed yourself as one of those.
Last year, we were crap. And everyone was saying, oh, Jurgen's going to get sacked. Jurgen's going to get sacked. Like, because we really underperformed for Liverpool standards last year. And I was like, I would sack each one of those players before I sacked
before him,
because I know that he has the ability to turn it around, and which he's proven this season he does.
Yeah, he is not just is a great manager, and it's a sad loss for that club. As a Leeds fan, we've lost very many good managers and lost even worse ones, many more worse ones. So I know the feeling.
Yeah.
Just wait, Oodles.
It'd be great if we have a
they'll find a way to get Brian Clough back, even though.
And I will kill you for saying that.
Hey, I still remember when Mike Ashley fucked Newcastle over and got rid of our. No, it wasn't Mike Ashley. It was Freddie Shepherd. Got rid of Sir Bobby Robson.
No, he did do that there as well. He did fuck your club up.
You all got fucked.
But Sir Bobby Robson, the nicest man in football. I didn't even like football, and I loved Bobby Robson. And Freddie Shepherd got rid of him.
Yeah, it happens to a lot of clubs, but maybe not as high profile as Liverpool were, and a loved figure in the sport. That's the thing. Even Everton fans have got to admit that Klopp's a genius.
God, and they won't admit it.
They won't admit it, but they know it.
My only knowledge of Jurgen Klopp is that there was a clip going around. I can't remember what the precise context was. He was doing like the post game presser kind of thing. And I think one of Liverpool's players had been like seen out at a nightclub a couple of days earlier, being drunk or something like that. And he gets asked a question about it, he just kind of leans forward and he says something like, "Why would you ask me such a stupid question? He's 22. He's allowed to enjoy his life."
You should see, honestly, there's a clip of when we're celebrating, I think it's a Champions League win, and he's literally forcing beer into the players' hands. Even though we've still got, was it the Premier League? It's one of them. No, that was the Champions League, and then again with the Premier League win, you can see him again. He's like enjoy it. Even though we've got a game later on. After we won the Premier League, we've got more games to play.
He understands that morale's important,
he was like, just enjoy it.
Some bosses don't.
And then we lost 5-0 in the next game.
Well, you live and learn.
Maybe one less drink.
It was against Man City. We just beat them to the title, so it's like...
Drink water between rounds.
Yeah.
He's also a very stylish brute as well.
Do you like his glasses?
He looks great.
Oh, he looks got rid of the glasses now.
Yeah, he don't wear
it. I'm just fucking no way of connecting with this man.
Come on.
Anyway, next.
Beautiful soul, beautiful.
Well,
man.
finally over to the Weird World Web, or should I say the Weird Worm Web? As there's a new popcorn bucket that's coming out, made to promote the up-and-coming Dune sequel. And apparently this thing is legit. If you've seen the pictures, it's raising a lot of eyebrows for very obvious reasons.
Have you posted the picture anywhere?
Because you can fuck it.
Of the...
Never look. Where is it?
News section.
In the news channel. Have a look.
It's basically a popcorn bucket, and then it's supposed to, it has like a plastic insert of like the mouth of the sandworm on the top, but it looks like an anus.
It's a fleshlight you never knew you needed.
They really took that popcorn trick to heart with this one, didn't they?
Yes,
I've seen her before in middle of Leeds Fest on day 3. Look at you! I'm getting two.
I hope it's just a prototype and they think better of it.
I hope it's not. I hope it comes out and I'm definitely sticking my hand into that.
Yeah.
It's weirding me out that there is this now trend when a big film comes out with these like novelty buckets. They're really big in America. Like in America, when the D&D film came out, you could get like a D20 shaped popcorn bucket.
That's
America
great.
Love buckets.
I know that's great, but like,
fleshlight.
But who signed this off?
Fleshlight popcorn.
America loves buckets. It's well known.
I'm just trying to think of other ones you could do. What other ones could you do?
Basic Instinct should have done one.
I'd say they missed a trick with the Mario movie because you could have had a question block.
Yeah, question block.
They did. I think they did do that.
Did they?
I think they did do that. No, they did it at McDonald's. Sorry, with Happy Meals.
Oh, right.
You could do an egg for Alien. You know, like it's splitting up.
Yeah. You could have like
You could do
green
some
coloured butter.
nachos, some nachos with sours and stuff in the box for $7.
You could have a bathtub for Saltburn.
With extra layer of salt at the bottom.
Pint milk. Oh, grow up. You've had it in your mouth before, Stig. Come on.
Fucking hell. Right, okay, marvellous. We're going to kill that one with a cow gun. Excellent. Time to find out what these reprobates have been doing. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, biggie. No, actually, actually not Biggie. We'll put you later because you have just been talking for like 40 minutes. Oodles. You're having a lazy day, so you can kick us off.
Yeah, I've only been doing one major thing this week, but it's a thing that I really loved and I'm passionate about it. It's a show that started. Always passionate about that. It started on Apple TV. It's Masters of the Air, which is the
I've heard about this.
The third historical drama from executive produced by Steven Spielberg, like is it The Pacific and Band of Brothers? Those war type films.
Already in.
So I watched the episodes that are currently available. And it stars Elvis Presley. What's his name? Elvis. Austin Butler.
I had my brain just only went to Anson Mount. It's like it's the hair, but no, it's not him.
Handsome man. Yeah, he is devilishly handsome, but he still talks like Elvis, and I don't get why. Anyway,
maybe he's stuck in it.
Maybe he's trapped in Elvis. But it also stars Callum Turner, Anthony Boyle, Barry Keoghan, who's just having a fucking good time in it this year. That lad.
Yeah, he's had a good year.
He's had a good year, and it's just, as you know, if you've seen Band of Brothers and you've seen all these other beautifully, just well realised, and yes, it is a bit jingoistic, but with a bit of heart to it. It's about the one of the 800th Airborne Divisions from the US Army. Do you know, they didn't have an Air Force then. It was the Army Air Force, wasn't it, back then, back in the World War II days?
Yeah.
And it's about a troop or a corps of men, young men that have finally going to see some action in the air. That they're stationed in Britain from America. They're all Americans, and luckily for them, they are charged with running the Sky Fortress, the B-52s, one of the most famous planes of all time. One of the most fantastically built, almost mech-like devices in human history. That thing is a 4-powered diesel engine plane that only goes about 110 miles per hour, but somehow can fly. And they are basically, so far, and this is what I do love about this, it's only a small cast. You don't have to memorise loads of people. It's just sticking with these small casts. Austin Butler definitely taking charge in this.
That was one of the benefits to Band of Brothers. It was just that team.
You knew the brothers, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what this is doing. And it's just slick as fuck. It's so good. And it's tense. Like, I'll bite my nails watching it. Even something like they've had a successful run or an unsuccessful run, but the danger's over. Because of the nature of the B-52s, landing is still a perilous thing. That is like a 50-ton plane that would be considered a cargo plane nowadays. It's huge. It's got like, what is it, Big? It's like 8 men inside it. Something like that.
Yes.
Come on, you were there. You remember.
Hey, there it is.
But yeah, I think it's eight or so men in this fucking Sky Fortress. But the problem is, and this is what the Nazis know as well, they're very big. What's bad about being very big? You're an easy target. You're a very easy target for ground artillery, and that's the current conundrum. I think there's only 2 episodes out at the moment, but they're both a full hour long, so it feels like I've watched nearly 2 films already. And it's just...
I assume that they're probably going to follow the same kind of thing they do with Band of Brothers, where they've picked out specific points out of
in their
what
lives
they want to cover, like Band of Brothers did in World War II. It was the similar thing. They were just kind of like let's cover this, this, and this. And I think they chose the best points to tell the story of what they wanted to cover.
Yeah, but I mean, the refreshing thing on this one, especially for us being British, is that it is set in Britain, and the skirmishes are over the North Sea and trying to get through Holland and trying to blow up supply lines of the U-boats and stuff like that. It's quite interesting, but again, it just shows the dangers of being in a flying fortress when you've got so much ground artillery covering the Netherlands and stuff like that. Because there was like an artillery shell for every person that bloody lived in that country at that point. You know what I mean? It's the early on, only when America's first started. And it's just, I don't know, it's just a really beautifully made show so far. And it's gut-wrenching because it's about loss, it's about boys not really knowing the horrors of war. It's getting so excited to get up there because it's drilled into them, isn't it?
Yes.
And then when they come back, their faces are a different story. And that's even without major losses. To see a few people die, and they're just like, I didn't sign up for this. That's why we're in the air. That's why we are in the air. So we're not on the ground. But no.
Is it as harrowing as the Pacific got? Because that one got a bit rough.
Not yet, because the Pacific was such a bigger theatre for death, wasn't it, in history?
It was, yeah.
So, not yet, but I'm obviously they are based in like Norfolk and East Anglia and stuff like that. So that did get bombarded quite destructively by the Luftwaffe. So we might see that later on where they're all just nice, celebrating a good skirmish over there, got rid of loads of artillery, got some... And then the Luftwaffe just come back with vengeance and just blew up half the chuffing East Coast.
Yeah.
So who knows? But again, two episodes in, and I just think this is not going to shit the bed so far. And this is my favourite. I've seen Austin Butler. I mean, I did like him as Elvis, but I do see him as a proper good leading man. He's a bit James Dean. Do you know what I mean? He's a bit handsome rogue. And he's just nice to watch. And Barry Keoghan in this is, especially after I've seen him licking fuck out of that bathtub, it's nice to see him in the... He's putting on American accent, and I know he's put on American accents before, but he's really believable in this. And he's an Irish American, and he makes a lot of statements on that fact. And it's a difference because you don't see the Air Force as much because it's so expensive. And by the way, this looks very expensive, like stupid expensive.
I mean, the previous two shows were very expensive as well. Yeah,
I recommend Masters of the Air. It's worth having a Apple subscription for. You'll have to watch it weekly, but again, you've got to go in with quite a thick skin because it can be quite traumatizing. Do you know what I mean? You've got to remember this is history. Yeah. So it's been my week. Depressing.
Fantastic. Okay, I'm going to go next. So I had wanted to talk about Yakuza, not Yakuza, Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth. But I've only managed to get an hour into it so far, so I don't really feel like I can talk about
first cutscene.
Pretty much
first cutscene.
What I can say about it is I'm playing it on the Steam Deck, and it looks fucking amazing on the Steam Deck.
It's a great looking game, anyway, isn't it?
But it's just the Dragon.
Nice to see it, isn't it?
Dragon Engine is just witchcraft, and it's just nice to be back with Ichiban. He's a lovely lad.
I like him better than other chap, mate.
Kiryu.
Yeah, I like him because he's definitely got ADHD.
He really
good representation.
I mean, in one of the opening cutscenes of the game, he ends up in the river in Yokohama.
Yeah, he's a good representation of other people that are very annoying to be around.
Yeah, he's a lovely lad. So the two things I'm bringing, first one, so I mentioned this on the Patreon pod that I was interested in seeing this. It's just come on Amazon. It's a cartoon called Hazbin Hotel. And I watched the first 2 episodes of it. And it's shite.
Okay. Dude, are you upset?
I'm a little bit. So, well, for a specific reason. So Hazbin Hotel, it's it was something that A24 have brought out with Amazon. It was a viral pilot show that was like self-funded by someone called Vivian Medrano, and it became very popular. It's like the original pilot has like 94 million views on YouTube. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
And it got commissioned to a full series, and the general run of it is The series revolves around Charlie Morningstar, the Princess of Hell, on her quest to find a way for demons to be rehabilitated and allowed into heaven. She opens a rehabilitation hotel called the Hazbin Hotel, which offers demons a chance at redemption. And it's very much adult animation, lots of swear words. Even the C-bomb gets dropped a few times, which is weird for an American show.
They don't like that word, do they?
They don't. But the big rub with it is all the voice actors are Broadway people.
Oh.
So there are songs in it. It's a musical show. And you know what? The songs are fucking incredible. They are the best bit of it, and the rest of it just doesn't link. It's not funny. It's trying too hard to be edgy. And I don't know if this is just something that's because I'm not. Maybe it's a Gen Z thing that I'm just not getting. But the jokes do.
Are you trying to tell me you're too old for this?
I might be, but I'm telling you, the jokes don't land. The comic timing is off.
Yeah.
The animation is fine. The music is so fucking good. Like, I will happily just listen to the fucking cast soundtrack of this show.
Maybe when it's all finished, or if it's all done now, maybe they just do a big supercut of the songs.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. I mean, Keith David is even wasted in this.
Motherfucker Keith David.
They've got him doing a voice, not his voice. So yeah, that was a big disappointment, so I won't be watching the rest of that. But the one thing I want to talk about, the main thing, Oodles, I'm going to talk about something that's really fucking nerdy, and you're going to fucking love it. So I'm listening to an audiobook at the minute called Empires of Eve, a history of the great wars of Eve Online.
Oh, this game fascinates me.
Yes.
The ecosystem game.
Yeah, so Eve Online, if you don't know what it is, it's a massively multiplayer online game, came out in 2003. A little bit like World of Warcraft, but this is a sci-fi one. But
in space.
Unlike World of Warcraft, there is only a single server. All players are playing in the same space.
Yep.
Whereas most MMOs portion you off so you don't have too many players in one place. This one, you have a whole fucking galaxy to deal with, so there's plenty of space. You're not going to run into that many people without trying. And it's a game that fascinates both me and Oodles because it's something where people will lose their lives to it.
So people live there.
Yeah, like you join corporations, you have jobs,
which can make real world money.
Sort of. That's against terms of services. But like people will prioritize their job in Eve over their job in real life.
Yes, that's what I've seen on some YouTube videos.
So I'm listening to this audiobook, Empires of Eve by Andrew Groen. Or Groen. I can't remember how you pronounce his name.
Groen.
What he's done is done a historical book of Eve Online, and it's written around the battles. It's written like a real, like a history textbook,
like a tome, but on battles that have been made with real people. Is that
yeah. It's like
I know some people that play Eve are like legit celebrities in that community at this point. People are like, oh my god, it's him! Like legends of Eve.
But like it's talking about like not only just like how the game got set up, but how all these different conglomerations get put together. The people who are waging psychological warfare before they actually start a war. The propaganda, the amount of propaganda on the 2003 EVE Online forums and IRC chats. It's incredible that there is this weird, like the community has this undercurrent thing, because the thing with the game is there are no kind of quests. There is no kind of plot line to the game. It's just a sandbox. You get a ship, you go in, you can mine, you can go to war. It all depends on what corporation you join and what alliance you're part of. It's fascinating to listen to, but the way, like I said, the way he's laid it out, it's as if I'm reading a fucking book on Napoleon.
Yeah, what's actually happened in history?
Yeah, it's like what's happened in Napoleon's campaign, but the
but someone called Starfucker 69.
Yeah, the names of people are like gamer
Milf
tags.
Eater.
Like there's one point where one of the alliances changes their name. So the developer of EVE Online is Crowd Control Platforms, so CCP games. Mm-hmm. And one of the corporations rebrands itself to CCCP, On which they claim stands for cookies, cream, something else, and pie. Candy, cookies, cream, and pie.
Love it.
And they said that was, well, when we roll into your space,
names.
that we're taking all of that from you, taking your cookies.
Plunder us.
Yeah. It's a fascinating listen. I will never play EVE Online. It's not a game that I can wrap my head around
mate.
actually playing. But I love reading about it and I love hearing about it. And it's talking about the battles and like the effort that people put into to set up for battles. So like the Titan class ships, which are supposed to be like the biggest ships in the game, like they can change the tide of a war. It takes them months to make them. And they have to like make.
It takes
all the
them months to actually get to the war zone, though. That's the thing. The battlefield.
Some of the wars have lasted years.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
It's
It's
mad.
the proper skirmishers.
It's
Did you ever see
absolutely
Gav Murphy, formerly of IGN, his documentary on it? Because he's like us. He's fascinated, but knows he'll never ever load that game.
No, I
up.
didn't know Gav did a documentary on it.
Yeah, he's on YouTube. He went to its country of origin. Is it Iceland? Or?
Iceland, yeah, it's an Icelandic.
Yeah, he went there and he spoke to anyone in the street, and I've heard it, and every single person, even old people, knew what it was and has played it.
Oh yeah, it's like part of Iceland's economy. It's mental.
Yeah, it's one of those things where people in Iceland and other parts of the world, there's dedicated TV channels that fill you in on what's happened that day.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? It's a game that's been bigger than any of us can realise that's been happening behind us backs. Do you know what I mean? You just don't understand
Yeah,
the level, the reach. What's this book called? Because I'm definitely going to listen to it.
It's called Empires of Eve.
Empires of Eve. I'm bang into this. You are correct.
Yeah, it's absolutely worth your monthly credit on Audible. Yeah, so it's so nerdy that I'm listening to this, but it's like I've listened to all of the podcasts this week. So like when I've been walking the dog, so I've got nothing to listen to.
All of the podcasts.
All of them. Which is
The thing is, though, again, just before you end it on Eve, end the Eve chat, like this is also a community that absolutely abolishes toxicity to its nth degree. It's got people that like run peacekeeping missions and stuff.
It's at the extremes because there are some people that are wildly toxic.
Yes,
and
they
then-
know they're like terrorists in that world.
They are because they role play as terrorists or pirates or what have you.
Yeah.
It's fucking mad. Like it's mad. It's not just the actual kind of space mining or space battling. Some people role play their characters and like proper LARP it. So
Become shops.
yeah, it's insane, and I absolutely love listening to this book. Like I say, I'll never play the game, but I will absorb as much information about it as I can.
Anytime I see a YouTube documentary on Eve, I'm on it.
Have you seen Down the Rabbit Holes one?
Yes.
The 5-hour one.
Yes.
So
It's
good.
insane.
Right.
Love it.
Okay, Stig, let's move on to you then.
I've done loads.
Oh, fantastic.
But
He always does.
well, because if you're a patron and you heard last week, we were talking. One of the questions was about what is our kind of media goals for this year. And Gadget kind of discussed wanting to try and set up a YouTube channel, and one of mine was to try and get through my watch list.
Yeah.
In doing that, I'm also documenting it on TikTok as well. So I've watched 3 more films from my watch list this week. I'm not going to go into them. If you want to hear about them, you can follow me on Stig's Film Takes. On
Love
TikTok.
that, Stig. Pass them
Oh,
on.
nice
Get on
plug.
Stig. That's beautiful. That's how you do it. That's how you do it, guys.
So,
he knows.
Donnie Brasco, the founder of Moneyball, they're the 3 I've watched this week.
3 very
Oh,
good films.
Fantastic films that I loved them immediately after I'd watched them.
The other thing that I did this week was last night went to see the best of Hans Zimmer and John Williams in Ripon Cathedral. So orchestra playing the music of Hans Zimmer and John Williams. It was great. Like amazing setting. For
Ripon as well. It's not too far away.
Yeah, well, that's kind of where we went.
Lazy fan.
Yeah, but it's just they're kind of touring all over the country. So if you really like that music, it's an hour and 20 minutes, hour and 25 minutes of just non-stop bangers.
Was it a dressed event where you're all in suits?
No, you're just casual.
Well, I would have been.
Yeah, and yeah, it was by the London Film Music Orchestra. A lot of young kids. I should say kids. Sorry, fucking hell, that's me getting old. Yeah, a lot of young people within the orchestra. So yeah, I think it might be coming out from a music school or something. But yeah, it was really, really good. And they did because obviously some of the pieces are like long. Like they didn't do the full Barbarian Horde, but they kind of did a mix of it. So they kind of chop and change, but got like the big bits in there and stuff. And it's touring around the country. Well worth checking out if you're really into your film scores.
How much did it cost?
It's about 25 quid a ticket.
I'm all right with that.
Yeah, it's not bad, that.
But yeah, I took my parents it was their Christmas present.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed
That's
that. But there's only one main thing I've been doing this week.
Here we go.
I have entered the King of Iron Fist tournament.
Oh, no.
I know this one coming.
Tekken 8 is out.
Are you representing the Zaibatsu Corporation?
I am indeed. No, I'm representing the Idrisil Rebel Army.
Oh.
Ooh.
Come on, get with your law, Gadget. Jesus.
I haven't played Tekken since Tekken 2.
It's a great game.
It doesn't matter. You get Tekken 8, and there's a replay thing that tells you all about the story from each Tekken. Literally, you could
love that.
There's a catch up with this story mode, and it has a recap of each Tekken that you can catch up on and what's happened with it. But this is almost like they've gone back to the drawing board with this after Tekken 7. So Tekken 7 came out in 2015, I think. Yeah,
sounds about right.
2015, 2016.
It's been a good while.
17 it came out, depending on which one you put it on. 17 on consoles, 15 on arcades. So yeah, it's been a while, and this new one is developed in Unreal Engine, and it looks incredible. It's one of the best next gen console games I've seen. Like, this is the real kind of step up. If you look at,
I played a lot of the demo, and it looks insane.
If you look at I didn't think Tekken 7 in my mind was that bad.
Looks bad.
No,
Look at side-by-side pictures of Tekken 8 and Tekken
It's
7.
unreal.
My God, Tekken 7 looks like absolute dog shit.
They've got ray tracing. They've got ray tracing on their own sweat.
Yeah, this game is one of the best looking games I have ever played, and they've just thrown everything into it. The fighting is incredible. It's so much fun to play. They've put a few new kind of features in there. So you have a special style, which is if you click onto that, it's almost like a one button combo style.
Right.
Yeah.
It just makes it like, if you're in a situation where you're trying to do a few combos and you're like, this ain't working out, you stick on special style and you just kind of press these buttons, and it is almost like button bashing, but it's fucking badass.
You become a master.
Yeah, you just batter the shit out of them. You know, they do this. They can do the same back to you as well. But you just feel great playing it. It's a fighting game that makes you feel good while you play it, and it does not.
That's what you want from a fighting game.
It doesn't frustrate you. Yeah. Like, if you want to be, a technical,
the very best,
and learn the combos and learn the moves, you can do that. But the game is offering you options where you don't have to do all that.
Have they kept the same command list since the previous game?
Oh yeah,
I'll be all right. Like, I'll be all right.
Kazuya's moves are the same button moves they've always been. So
I can still be Paul and one shot people with me.
With your big punch,
power punch.
Yeah. It's all exactly the same.
Yeah.
It sounds like they've done that.
I don't like his hair though. Jesus.
I do.
He's done
It
it
sounds like they've done that. What Street Fighter 6 did, where they had the modified
accessibility mode.
Yeah.
They've also,
but on Street Fighter 6, you couldn't play an online match with somebody that was on that mode if you weren't.
Yeah, you could.
I never ran into them.
Yeah, no, I was getting my arse handed to me by people playing in classic mode.
I was using special style online. I've played a few games online.
Little cheat.
It's just part of the game. I was just doing the buttons. I do the combos that I know.
Oh, yeah.
But I still got battered by people, but I also battered other people, so it's fine. But you also have Heat Burst and Heat Smash, which is a new thing they've added, which is kind of like this charge, like charged punches and stuff. And you got Rage Art, which is a special move, like Street Fighter does.
I've seen them. Gadget sent me them
Yeah.
on TikTok.
Like Street Fighter does, like Mortal Kombat does. Tekken now has this like special
I've
ability.
seen that one with Kuma with that fish.
Yeah.
that was great.
At the point where it's a panda throwing a rocket-powered salmon at somebody, I'm not really sure where to go from there.
It's pure Tekken. It's pure Tekken.
Yeah, it's never been a serious game. Don't worry about that.
I just can't understand how a game that, when it comes to the main storyline, is so fucking serious and it's about genocide
Stoic,
and
isn't
government control
Yeah.
and armies
Yeah.
fighting against each other. But part of the army and part of the rebel team
Got bears.
has a bear wearing a waistcoat with a dragon, with a tiger on the back. that speaks to people. It growls, but it has subtitles.
in bed, and they understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that in the intros, outros, where it's like,
I fucking
I
love
do.
it.
it's like
So good.
Kazama will be like giving it, I'm going to defeat you, and then you got the bear going, and the subtitles saying, I don't like you very much, or something like that.
And they're all fluent in every single language on planet.
Oh
as well,
yeah.
aren't they?
So the main storyline.
Don't matter who you're against.
The main storyline they've gone all out now. It's the story, The Dark Awakens. It's gone full cinematic storyline. So you get this. You get all this cinematic.
Look how excited he is.
I love it. You got all this cinematic stuff in between, and then it goes into the fights, like similar to Mortal Kombat. The way Mortal Kombat have done it, they've basically taken that template and done it. Because
Full story
Tekken
mode.
7's was shit. The story mode in Tekken 7 was dog shit.
It was newspaper articles, wasn't it? You had to read
it
big
was
paragraphs.
about a fucking
That's it,
journalist who
yeah.
got
A journalist going into war zones.
You got caught up in the whole war and was documenting it. I was like, this is bullshit.
You never saw that journalist. You were just reading his blogs.
Yeah, you were hearing his audio podcasts and his blogs, and it was like, this is
It was shite.
so shit. But
And then Akuma turns up to fight Heihachi for no reason.
because Yun told him to, apparently, at some point. But yeah, in this they've done a proper storyline. It's very short. I'm probably about halfway through it, but by all accounts, it's 5 hours tops.
They don't need to be long.
No, it
these.
doesn't. But they also throw a thing in there halfway through the game, which mixes it up a little bit, which I really liked. I'm not going to spoil what it is, but it's very different. So you've got story mode, you've got character episodes. So you can then what you can do is after you've done the main storyline, which obviously involves Kazuya and Jin, you can go and play each character, and it does a little story mode for them about what's going on with them during that time. So like the old Tekkens, like you know how you just went through the fights, didn't you?
And you got cinematic.
You got cinematic at the end about what happened. You get
It's
that
like
down.
old school, isn't it?
Yeah.
The old school fighting game.
You've got arcade.
Remember when King got his orphanage? He built an orphanage.
Yeah, and
That's it.
Xiao she got her a theme park and all that.
Yeah. And Gon finally got his little dinosaur world.
Yeah.
Gon's in this or not?
No.
I've got rid of him.
No, he's
Dead.
you
He's
can
dead.
do this an arcade quest, which is kind of your you've got like mini avatars, and you can run around the little avatar world.
That's what was in the actual arcade
You can
mode.
challenge people.
of the
Like
game.
so, when you want to go online and stuff, you've got little avatar. Mine looks like Oodles. Like that's just a default.
Great looking guy. I'm never usually the default. It's usually you.
No, honestly, when it came up, I was like, he's got the blonde hair. Well, it's not you now, but when you did have the blonde hair and the shaved sides and stuff, I was like, it just
Yeah. I change my hair too often. That's the problem.
But yeah, you can run around that little area, and you've got little arcade challenges you can do, and you've got a little avatar that you can design. I've not really touched on that yet. Really, I've been focusing on the story.
Have they finally seen sense with a minigame and gone for Tekken darts or something
No,
like
but
that?
Tekken Ball is back. Tekken Volleyball is back.
Yes!
Yes!
That's what we're talking.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Your character custom.
I love how feature-rich Tekken games are.
This has got so much more than I think that the previous fight. It's got
They've ever
character customizations now, so you can actually dress the characters up in different costumes and give them different hairstyles,
Brilliant.
different hair colors, and so I've got a few. I've posted a few in the Discord. I've got King dressed up in his beach gear. He's got a Hawaiian shirt on, linen trousers. He's got a little mobile phone like pouch on his side.
He had that in Tekken 2, didn't he?
Yeah, so
He had a beach gear.
Kazuya, I've done all like he's all like leather jacket and leather trousers and grey hair.
Who are you maining as at the moment?
Well, when I play online, I usually play as Kazuya because I just know his moves.
You know his moves, yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you're supposed to main, yeah.
So
Was it?
the big question that has gone unanswered during your review, Stig. How many people have you thrown off cliffs and or mountains and or volcanoes?
None yet, but I'm hoping that
But
it
it's
comes.
coming.
I'm hoping it's coming.
It's coming. It's definitely
But
coming.
yeah, you got Super Ghost Battle, Arcade Battle, extra stuff. Online features are packed. You've got a few new characters in this. You've got Azucena Castillo.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
She's very she's very much a bit like Eddie Gordo, like a bit like Samba
Yeah.
moving and stuff. Her character I
Yeah.
don't really like that much. She's just this weird, like kind of. She's really into coffee. She sells coffee and she just bangs on about coffee.
Yeah,
all the time.
all the intros about coffee, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, I've seen that one.
Obviously got a new Jack 8, because every Tekken has to have a Jack.
How jacked is it?
He's fucking massive when he gets introduced in the story in the story mission. It's like he's just got bigger and bigger.
8'5".
You fight some
Jack.
Jack 7s and then Jack 8 comes in. It's just like okay.
Gunjack. Remember Gunjack? Gunjack was a good lad.
You've got Reina, who I haven't discovered what her backstory is yet in the storyline, but I'm kind of grasping and think I know where it's going. And then Victor Chevalier, he's a French spy. He's fucking great. I've played a few games as him.
Is he like an Interpol agent?
Yeah, but he's cool as fuck, but his moveset.
What's his fighting moves like?
His moveset's great, and he pulls out swords, and he kind of does like shifting movements. So he like phases around the map. when
Yeah.
he's fighting. It's really,
Ooh,
really.
he might be a favourite at Evo this year then.
Genuinely, I think people are going to really, really like him. I like it when they do, because there's so many characters on there that are just kick and punch, and they have
Kick a punch.
various ways of kicking and punching, but then you have the mental characters like Yoshimitsu and stuff, and he's kind of in that bracket.
Or you have Steve that just punches.
Oh, he's boring as fuck.
I know. Who places Steve? Who mains as Steve?
No.
I like Lei Wulong back in the day, the Jackie
Yeah,
Chan
Drunken
character.
Master. Yeah.
Is
But-
Law still in it?
Yeah, Law's in it.
Yeah.
I always remember it was X and circle to do the backflip kick, and
Yep.
absolutely
I'll run up the body.
Yeah, absolutely stun locked my brother with it constantly.
See,
Yeah,
I
I've always been a Hwarang and Paul guy.
used to be Harang, and then I did a bit of Eddie Gordo when he came in.
Cheating character.
Yeah, I know how to do all these moves and skip around. But like,
On the floor.
I used to assign my top 4 buttons to combos as well, so I had my other ones, and I had like quick combo. But now, because these special options, 3 of the top
Don't need to.
buttons are already taken up. So yeah, it's
You've had to change the way you play a little
I
bit.
have to change the way I play a little. But I'm fucking. This is the best Tekken since Tekken 3. Not by.
Wow.
Strong words.
It plays.
He's got a
amazing.
90 on Metacritic, hasn't it?
Yeah, it plays amazingly well. It looks absolutely stunning. The features are packed. The storyline, they've gone all out, and it's like I said, they've gone back to the drawing board with it and just gone, how can we make Tekken mint again?
Do you know how they made Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? People are calling this Tekken 8 Deluxe. It's like it's the best of the best.
I mean, there will be, because there'll be like Tekken 8 Deluxe Resurrection, Devil Gene,
Cross Street Fighter.
2.0. Yeah. That'll come out in 3 years' time, where it has all the DLC characters as part of the release.
I'm buzzing that Tekken's
Oh,
back.
man, it's so
I'm
good.
buzzing.
It is.
I'd have bought it, but I've already paid for Final Fantasy, so
Ooh, it's a choice.
one October. One
It's a choice.
October.
I mean, this
Okay.
was never not going to be a day one for me.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. I get it. Mate. I fucking get it.
Okay.
Tekken is your Dragon Quest.
Biggie, round us off.
Polishes off.
Well, my friend, I have played God of War Ragnarok.
How much?
Bullshit.
I've played
He's
up
an hour
to
in.
the end of the first fight with Thor, so I haven't got too far, but that's
So you've
what
done
I've
the
got to.
tutorial.
He's an hour in.
Probably about an hour in, but I have started it.
Oh my word.
Liking it. Yeah, very similar to...
Liking it, one of the best games of that year. Liking it.
No, but I mean,
all right.
I love the original, so to me it's
So why
more
didn't
of
you
the
rush
same
to
at
play
this
the
point.
second one?
Because I was playing other stuff.
Like
I
endless
just
amounts
get
of
round
Call
to
of Duty.
games. I'm not in a rush to play shit, mate. I play when I want. But yeah,
he's giving it a bit large, a little bit way, a little bit whoa.
But
He's
yeah,
a geezer.
it's great. It's it's nice to be back into it, and it feels like you've never left. It feels very familiar when you start to get going. I like the chat with Atreus now, as he's a bit older. Yeah, loving it. Really good. The only thing I didn't like, I don't know if he's obviously assume he's going to make more of an appearance, but it was the first introduction with Odin, and the fact that he's got this sort of New York American accent threw me off a bit. I wasn't
It's
expecting
Thingy.
that.
What's his name from?
It's Aaron Sorkin, right?
No, it's Toby Ziegler.
No.
It's
Toby Ziegler.
yeah, it's, Richard Schiff, who played Toby Ziegler in The West Wing.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, from The West Wing, right?
Yeah.
But
I
it's
like
just-
Aaron
it's
Sorkin's
the-
related.
it's the accent.
It grows on
The
you.
accent threw me.
No, it's
It makes sense.
the accent will throw you, but the more you see him, because you do get to, without spoiling, you do get to spend quite a lot of time with Odin.
I'm sure you do. Yeah.
The performance that Richard Schiff puts into it, it makes sense for him to sound like a Jewish guy from New
It's
York City.
understated, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's understated.
Yeah.
There's a
But you got to remember as well,
sinisterness
Biggie,
to it.
like, Kratos has got an American accent in this, and
Yeah.
Atreus, so you can't really complain. It
No,
doesn't sound like
but
a
he's-
fucking
he's
green,
very-
I don't
does
think
it?
it's as jarring the way that Kratos talks.
Kratos
Doesn't
is very,
come
he's got a
across
very Shakespearean way of talking, hasn't he?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
regardless of having
Yes.
an American accent. Whereas I got that. Like, when I first heard Odin, I was a bit
It's like Hades from Hercules, isn't it?
I was a bit
Like
like,
James
that-
Woods.
I thought that's a choice, but the more you kind of interact with him throughout the game, it's like, yeah, it grows on
It's
you.
a mad choice because especially the
Yeah,
other,
I'm sure
a
it'd
lot
be
of the other
fine.
characters in those games have got Scandinavian accents, haven't they?
Well, apart from Thor.
Like
who-
Balder's got a Scandinavian, but Thor, yeah, Thor is him
I mean,
from
I've watched Chernobyl,
Sons of
which
Anarchy,
has
isn't
got every
it?
accent in it.
I think,
But yeah,
I
really
think,
liking it.
I think you'll come to really love the Odin performance, because I loved it by the
I
end.
loved him.
He's a great actor anyway. I'm sorry I got the name wrong, but yeah, he's superb. What else am I doing? I have been watching The Stand, the American version of Stephen King's...
Stephen
Sorry, the
King.
American version. The
new
TV
one.
series version of Stephen King's famous book.
When did that come out? Is that old?
2020.
A few years ago, yeah.
I didn't know they did the.
Yeah.
I didn't know they did the.
I didn't know
It's
it.
one of my
It
favorite.
just popped
One
up
of my
in
favorite
a
books
list.
of all time.
I'm sure I
I
talked
love it.
about it.
I love the graphic novel as well.
I've never read the graphic.
I mean,
novel.
But
it was 3
sadly
years ago,
got,
so maybe like you don't remember, but I'm pretty sure I mentioned it.
It was literally finished before the pandemic, so it probably got lost a little bit during all that. But James
love that
Marsden is sadly in it, and he rubs me up the wrong way, I'm afraid. He's not the best leading man, really. He's not the main character, but he's obviously a standout in some of the actors that they've got in. Odessa Young is in there. Owen Teague, he's really good. Alexander Skarsgård is fantastic as Randall Flagg, but he doesn't look how I
he
expect
plays
him to
Flag.
Yeah, but he doesn't look any different to how he looks in every other show that you see him in. Which
Is that a problem?
I was not expecting him. No, but
Walking.
when you have a character in mind, how they would look, it's not how I saw him looking, if you see what I mean. It's
Fair
They
enough.
did
not my
they
vision.
did like a 2-part TV version in the 90s of this. And,
Yeah.
Randall Flagg in that was fucking unhinged. I can't remember who played him.
It was
but
just
he
like
unhinged.
I just remember it. He's got like a big mullet, and he just like he's just
yeah,
top to bottom in denim, and in washed denim.
Yeah. He's walking around like a rocker.
yeah.
He's fucking cool, man.
Yeah, he doesn't look like that so much. He's got the boots and the denim jeans. But it's
Yeah,
Alexander Skarsgård with a big grin on his
The
face,
most
basically.
powerful person that Stephen King ever created in his mythos, and he's been in other films. Remember, he's in The Dark Tower.
Do you know what's ridiculous, right? I was watching The Stand, this version that Biggie's talking about, and I was like, Matthew McConaughey would be really good for this role.
And he was.
and then I looked it up and was like, oh yeah, he was actually in The Dark Tower, wasn't he?
He was Randall Flagg. Oh,
Yeah.
fucking God.
But they fucked that up.
But yeah, Whoopi Goldberg's in it, Amber Heard.
He's shit, big whoop.
Yeah. Enrique Zaga. And then there's a few, Greg Kinnear's in there. And there's a few guest appearances from J.K. Simmons, Heather Graham, to mention a few. So yeah, I mean, it's the cast
Where'd
is
you
good.
find this then?
It's usual places. And then,
Okay.
yeah, I'm such a fan of it. And it's watchable, but it's not brilliant. It's
Okay.
just something not clicking for me, and I'm not quite sure. I don't know if it's James Marsden.
It's not James
I don't
Marsden.
know.
Can't be
It's
his
just
fault.
yeah, poor Cyclops. But yeah, it's not quite working for me. But I'm
Died off
enjoying
screen.
it for what it is. But apparently, it's only a 1-season thing. It's there's a chance it could have been a season 2, but apparently it might have been cancelled. I'm not quite sure. I think probably.
No, it finishes. The whole story's done in there.
I'm going to say it's not.
Oh, there
it's a
you go.
big book, but it's a simple story to tell.
He also
Maybe they
wrote.
covered it
There's
all,
also
that's
an
fine.
epilogue, which wasn't in the original book or TV series, like miniseries. So Stephen King's gone back and wrote because he thought that himself didn't think that the book was finished right. So he's wrote an epilogue purposely for this show. So he wrote the final episode.
wow.
Okay, there you go.
I'm going to have to watch this now. If people haven't read The Stand, get on it. It's a long one, though. It's a chunky
Yeah,
old
there's
book.
the great stuff
and some,
in the,
some
the
of the
show
Dark
that
Tower
they'd
books.
like. The stuff I liked, but it's just some of it
It's got I think Ezra Miller is the trash man.
No way.
Oh, that'll have been before Ezra Miller went really off the fucking rails.
Yeah. The trash can man
Yeah.
is Ezra,
Yeah.
it's Ezra Miller. Yeah, it's got a real star-studded cast.
I didn't even know
yeah.
it existed. Oh, I did and I forgot.
You could see the effort was in there. So, but yeah, I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see your thoughts if you do watch it.
Yeah, I've never.
But
Sorry, Biggie. I was just saying I've never
go.
watched
No, go.
never read the book, but I remember kind of weirdly enjoying the miniseries.
The miniseries is good. It is
from
good.
the 90s. So I was kind of well up for this when they said they were going to do it.
You should try the book, though, mate. I mean, you don't have to jump
I've
into
read the
Dark
graphic
Tower
novel.
just because
It's really good as well.
Just because it's got similar characters, well, some same characters. Dark Tower is a fantasy book, but The Stand itself is one of the greatest books of that generation, mate. It's insane and pure coke-ridden, which is sometimes what you want in a book, isn't it?
Well, the stuff about the weaponized influenza outbreak in this story is really done well in the show. In the show, it's done very well. It's really cool.
Yeah,
Great.
In a really
great book.
sick way.
I'm buzzing on that.
yeah,
You just discovered it for me.
But the other thing I want to cheer up with is that I've been watching a really sweet comedy that you may or may not have covered. I'm not sure if anyone watched this or not, but it's the Detectorists.
Oh, a lot of people talk about this one.
Yeah, and I just needed something a bit more uplifting to watch. So, for those that don't know, it's a British comedy series. Came out in 2014. It's written and directed by Mackenzie Crook, he of The Office fame,
Gareth.
and stars alongside Toby Jones. And it's basically set in a fictional small town of Danebury in North Essex. The plot revolves literally around the lives and loves of the metal detecting ambitions of the characters Andy and
Fucking
Lance.
hell.
And they're best friends. But do you know what? It's really sweet, funny comedy. It's not too dissimilar in a way to Ricky Gervais's Afterlife in the sense that there's a lot of humour in there. There's a bit of seriousness at times.
It's got morals.
It goes back to the humour again. But it's just, really funny, really sweet comedy. Brilliant writing. The acting is fantastic. And it's just nice, easy comedy to watch. And it's got some really good, funny bits in it. I love it. I think it's really good. Nearly finished the first season. I think there's 2, maybe 3
What's it on?
to watch. What am I watching on Netflix?
Ooh, that makes it a lot sweeter.
I think it's BBC, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a BBC show.
It was originally on BBC, yeah.
No one's perfect.
But yeah, I think it's really good. Mackenzie Crook and Toby Jones are fantastic. Their characters were
Both
brilliant,
great
really
people.
good.
Both Toby Jones especially.
I do love a bit of Toby Jones. He's a very good actor.
He's
Yeah,
very
fantastic.
Not so
Alright.
much in Jurassic Park, Dominion. Not Dominion.
No.
Fallen Kingdom.
Fallen Kingdom. Not at all.
Can't win them all, can you?
He has a rough ride in that Sherlock episode he was part of, but that was about the time when Sherlock started getting really, really shit.
You mean when Sherlock got magic powers?
Yeah. Magic brain powers.
Tell you what, not to go on a tangent, but that final series, I think episode 1, where he predicts the future and how people react, and he's like, he turns up and he's there, and like, how did you do that? He goes, because I knew this is how you'd react, and I was like, fuck right off.
Yeah. Oh, the shite. First season of Sherlock's great.
First season of Sherlock's great because that's when they were kind of sticking with the book. It was the
Yeah, they did Baskervilles and stuff, didn't they?
that fucking last episode they did where it was like with Sherlock's sister as well, and she no.
Yeah.
I did like the one where they did like the Victorian one,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it was like a special, but it was all like in his head to try and work something out.
Christmas
That
special.
was quite good, but Yeah, that final series where it was just there, like you said, you got
That's woof.
it's like you got magical
But we're
powers.
not reviewing Sherlock tonight.
No.
No, but
What we are doing is moving on to the feedback. So I think I'm doing that, aren't you? Because you're having a night off, Oodles, aren't you?
Completely.
Completely. Abdicated responsibility. That's what he's all about these days.
I prefer delegation.
Abdication. Right, we'll start with King Hagrid. This week has been mainly EAFC and What We Do in the Shadows. I took my youngest to see Wish yesterday at the cinema. Pretty good film, but not quite as good as I was expecting for Disney's big 100 celebration film. Just about to go to our local community centre for a Lego show with lots of displays. I'm hoping it's as fun as it sounds. And then he updates us. The Lego show is fantastic. So many amazing creations from Jurassic Park to Star Wars to the Angel of the North and loads more.
Imagine, though, if you went barefooted to this Lego show.
You'd be dead. You just wouldn't
You'd
survive.
be dead. You'd be dead.
Lee Davies has come in. Lee Davies has come in. Oodles, this man is your people.
He's always been my people.
I've spent the last few weeks playing Peggle 2 on PS4, PS5.
Because he knows one of the greatest games ever made.
And finally got the platinum after dozens of hours.
Has he? It's eluded me, that one.
This was after I'd spent dozens of hours getting 1,000 gamer score on Xbox last year. What can I say? I love me some Peggle.
I've already said it's best EA game ever made. Ever.
Peggle's definitely
Peggle
I don't know what it is
2.
about that game. It's just enjoyable to play, isn't it?
It's the best, one of the best puzzle games of all time, mate. It's just
I don't
so
think
good.
I've ever played it.
Tetris is. Sorry.
You've never played it. The music when you pass the levels is insane. You get
Yeah.
Ode
I
to
know,
Joy.
I watched you stream it, but I've never played it.
It's so fucking good. If you come in from a night out and put some Peggle on for lads, it's a game changer, mate. It's a game changer. Love Peggle. Peggle 2 is the ultimate Peggle. I need a Peggle 3 though. Need it.
Speaking of Pegging fans, it's Planty. He said, "Hey, haven't you all done a lot? Good for you. Between playing barman at Rachel's sister's wedding after party, brackets, I was the hardest working person in their kitchen diner last night, and getting stuck in an and getting stuck in an electric car in the middle of Storm Irma, I think it means Isha. I've not had much time to watch stuff this week. But let's start with Netflix's Bitconned. Now, I've seen this, it's really good. The story of the Centra crypto debit card that never existed. Imagine that GameStop documentary with an even more unlikable, barely human, grifting arsehole protagonist. It's quite interesting, but if, like me, you hate The Wolf of Wall Street because there isn't a protagonist, you'll hate this. Hang on, how can you hate The Wolf of Wall Street? It's an amazing film.
I think it's amazing.
Ooh.
He just doesn't like Jordan Belfort, does he?
he hates
No one-
good shit. Likes
No
bad
one-
shit.
No one
What
likes
a
Jordan Belfort. Rachel was away this weekend. That gave me the chance to finally catch up on the films she refuses to watch because they are, quote, too sad and will make me cry. Starting with The Sound of Metal. The tale of a drummer on the cusp of the big time inexplicably going deaf overnight.
Love that film.
Riz Ahmed is a national treasure and he's brilliant as the single-minded Reuben. The sound
Did you like him in Venom?
We'll skip it past that. The sound production is the true star of the show here, and yes, of course, I cried. Final thing I'm bringing to the show I'll start again. Final thing I'm bringing to show and tell is The Banshees of Inisherin.
Oh, so good.
Jesus fucking H. Christ on a cross. I love In Bruges, and I assume this will be another bittersweet story of an unlikely friendship. Nope! A stunningly bleak period piece with 3 of the top 5 Irish actors working today. I was taken in by Colin Farrell's likeable sad sack in Act 1, along with Barry Keoghan's blunt village idiot. But ultimately, what has made me want to put it back on for Rachel is its squirrel shit, nutty, grim third act. But only when she's gotten over the shock of me buying us a miniature donkey for Colin Robinson to ride on.
I think that little monologue that Barry Keoghan has when he's trying to ask that woman to marry him. I think, it's like, if you were so kind, like, do you reckon you could marry someone like me? And she goes, no, probably not. I don't know. I like Banshees of Inisherin more than I like In Bruges, and I know I'm in the minority on
seen
that one.
the-
Different,
Banshees.
kind of totally different kind of
Yeah,
films.
they
aren't
are
they?
totally different films, but Banshees one probably. I think when we did it, we talked about this. I think it was like my second favourite film that year.
It's a great film. It's really good, but just In Bruges just doesn't miss the whole film.
No,
There's
it doesn't
nothing
miss,
There's nothing
does
in
it?
that film that misses.
I want to give a quick shout out to Planty and John's pod for I listened to the American Pie
So did I.
episode today. And
I listened to
it
that
has
the other
probably
day as
one
well.
of the funniest facts that they've ever announced.
Which
And
one?
it had me chuckling away when I was walking my dog. I don't know whether to ruin it or not, but it's
No,
pretty
don't.
fantastic.
I did hear him say on this episode that they're thinking about doing Blade soon. Planty, come on, hit me up. Hit me up.
Okay.
Yeah.
170 odd facts to beat, though. I think 174.
Mate, I think I could get 250 facts on Blade.
Got to get ones that people don't know, though.
Yeah, easy.
Okay, so
Easy.
next up, Xenos. This week I've been playing yet more Mincecraft, spelling intentional.
Mincecraft.
Minecraft.
Oh, Minecraft.
We finally tracked down a nether fortress. Turns out there was one fairly close to our first portal, and we're just going in the wrong direction. And I've procured the materials to upgrade the spell books from our magic mod from amateur to competent, which has allowed me to turn my launch target into the sky spell into make target float away helplessly. It wears off after a few seconds, but by that point they're high enough up for the fall to kill them. Oh, and I can also shoot electrical sparks out of my hands, though I can't do full-blown lightning bolts yet. Maybe next week.
There's spells on Minecraft and stuff.
Apparently.
Has he just completely dropped thingy now, Baldur's Gate? Has he just dropped it?
I think he's finished it.
Oh, he'd never let me know.
I think he's done multiple runs, actually.
Yeah, he's done 3 or 4 runs.
I've done 3.
We've also accidentally blundered into one of the most terrifying biomes in the game, the Deep Dark. It's a semi-living biome composed of a life form called the Skulk, and going in there is a bit like the film Annihilation.
But it all looks like Minecraft still. That's the problem.
Turns out it's under the mountain next to the one we live on. It's basically empty of monsters, but instead contains blocks that sense vibrations from you walking, interacting with objects, or otherwise moving around doing stuff, and blocks that react to those vibrations by letting out an unearthly screech. Why the screech? Well, that alerts the warden. What's a warden? Toughest enemy in the game. Doesn't drop anything. Strong enough to more or less instantly splatter you with melee attacks, and is capable of firing sonic blasts through blocks if it can't reach you directly. Fortunately, it's completely blind and operates on a combination of sound and smell. We've basically been playing a combination of Metal Gear Solid and Alien Isolation every time we go down there, but I think we've looted most of the city's ruins now, so hopefully I won't need to do it again. Fortunately, we've set the server so you don't lose your inventory on death, because we want to actually enjoy playing rather than be scared shitless of everything vanishing every time we're in danger. So it's a surprisingly zen experience once you accept the inevitability of death.
So he's a nihilist now.
Clearly. Outside of that, I've played through most of Mega Man ZX, although I'm not quite
Good
done
lad.
with the game yet. I think I've got another 2 selectable bosses to go before I get into the end game. And finally for this week, I've picked up another book. I realise I make this sound like a rarity, but it's more because I read so quickly I can't afford to get a new book every time I finish one. Chalk this one up to
Same.
serendipity. I walked into W.H. Smith's to pick up a drink on the way back from Cheltenham yesterday and completely by chance spotted a copy of Neil Gaiman's Neverwhere on one of the shelves.
Now we're talking.
Thoroughly enjoyed all of his books that I've read so far, and I've heard good things about this one, so looking forward to this.
Yeah. Picked it up. I haven't touched it yet.
I found one of my favourite series ever in W.H. Smith randomly. Just picked it up. Looked good. I was like, this sounds interesting. Picked it up. 14 bucks in.
Twilight, was it?
Great.
Twilight.
Twilight, yeah.
Don't be silly.
50 Shades, man. Last up, we've got Best Boy Angry Kurt. I'm still playing Prince of Persia and the Lost Crown, which continues to be excellent, but the main thing I did this week was, hold on, Stig, was finish The Lies of Loch Lamora.
Oh, I've read it already. I've seen what you said.
Strike this up as another thing I would have only tried due to the podcast, and it was brilliant. It took me a while as I found it hard going sometimes in terms of the complexity of the language and how descriptive it was, but I didn't mind it as it was a great story from start to finish. Scott Lynch writes characters really well. I felt a real connection with Locke and his gang and a real hatred for the baddies, who I won't name as I know Oodles is yet to read it. I agree with
Start
Gadget
it,
and
mate.
Stig that I think he'd love this book. I'm eager to read the next one after reading the teaser of the next book at the end of this one, but I'm going to read non-fiction Harry Potter The Deathly Hallows first for a break. Also watched the first 2 episodes of the Beckham documentary, which has been a good watch. Yeah,
that's good.
Red Seas Under Red Skies or something like that, the second book, is really good. A very different story to Lies of Loch Lamora.
Oh, they're all different.
But it's much grander scope.
Republic of Thieves.
I've started Loch Lamora. I started it this week.
Different.
Not very far in. See, it's nice to read. I find it quite easy to read, actually.
God, the end of that last book. It's been 11 years. Well,
so I'm starting somewhere that doesn't end now. Thanks for
But
that.
it's coming out. It did release last year that it's literally at the publishers and editors, and they're going through it now. So yeah,
better be.
At least he's actually progressing with it, unlike some other people. Patrick Rothfuss. Gurm.
He's not done a Martin. But yes, so that's it for the feedback. So we don't have a candy, so we're not doing a Candyland this week. So we're not. We've got buses to catch. So we need to get away early. So
I mean, if you want good content, pay us.
No one got any insane shit to say. Anyone else? Biggie?
No.
Anyone?
I did have a
insane
a mystery
shit to say.
I did have a mystery poo
to make up
this afternoon.
To make up for no Candyland.
No, we're not going to talk. We're not going to talk about Oodles as mystery poos. So
they're the best poos.
So, right, if I'm remembering rightly, the last part of Kenny Potter's already out now, isn't it?
Certainly.
Second to last part.
We're going to do
not the last.
We're doing a wrap up.
The last film one.
We're doing a reunion.
Right. Okay. So that's already out. So make sure you get on the
14
Patreon.
years
Patreon.
later. 19 years later. Sorry.
Patreon.com/Modern Escapism. £5 a month plus VAT is all you need to get all this extra goodness. And once they've completed the Kenny Potter series, me and Biggie will be back for Fast X, and then we'll be starting something new.
Will you fuck?
We will. We need to keep the content coming. It's one film. We can do one film.
I don't think you can.
Hopefully Vin Diesel will go to prison for something that we know in the news, and then we won't be able to cover it.
Stealing DVD players, probably.
Listen, we've had some really great feedback, by the way, from the people in Discord who have Patreon and have listened to Kenny Potter and have said how much they really, really enjoyed it. So even if you are one of those people who want to wait until it's all out, subscribe for a month and listen to it all, please do, because
we don't care.
Yeah, we don't care, but it's really for a $5, you're gonna get 9 episodes on it, and it's really good. Like, we put a lot of effort and work into it. It wasn't just about watching the films. Like,
it's one of the first shows we've done where we planned every segment of it from start to finish before we even started recording.
I listened to all the books, made notes about them. We talked about the
planned
differences.
The whole thing.
Like, it's really, really good. So yeah,
it's very different to this.
Yes,
yeah. Really worth it, my opinion.
And if you want to listen to something inferior, then listen to the Fast and Furious podcast that we did, where we just shit on movies that are shit.
Yeah,
they're not shit. They're not shit somehow.
So, but you can find information about all of that at modernescapism.co.uk, our erstwhile website.
Pretty good, like.
We're on X, formerly known as Twitter. We're on TikTok. I should really make some TikTok videos for it, shouldn't I?
We don't go that far with this segment, Gadget. Just leave it at that.
Hey, I am doing my style of hosting. You
they can find us. They can find us.
We do need more TikTok content.
Yeah. Get yourself back in your box. I'm hosting it this time, not you.
Every time I go on TikTok,
fucking ground.
Every time I go on TikTok, we've got more followers, but there's not a lot of content on there. So I'm like,
we should do something.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, if you are not a patron, this is where the show ends for you. But if you are a patron, join us in the green room. But for now, goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.